Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
And we serve as the voice to the Truval Black community.
Again, we got Dr. Candace Matthews.
A lot of these documents, looking at.
We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media.
This country is supposed to be about the land of the free for all. It has not been free for Black people, and we are tired.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.
Hello everyone, my name is Naledi Mfoloe and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to the latest edition of the African Diaspora News channel, where we unravel the stories that shape our world and our communities. Today we dive deep into the currents of information, from the pulse of politics to the heartbeat of entertainment. We've got it all covered, so please stay tuned for a news experience like no other. Now, today we have a story that is as heartbreaking as it is complex. Now, it challenges us to think about justice, family bonds, and the legacy of apartheid in South Africa. Now, this is a story of Sabrina Van Schoor, who confessed to having her mother Beverly killed. What makes this tale even more extraordinary is Sabrina's father, Louis Van Schoor, who was one of South Africa's worst mass murderers during the apartheid era. Now, we ask ourselves, why is Sabrina, who orchestrated the murder of her own mother, finding unexpected support from the very communities her father terrorized? Let's start at the beginning. All right, so Louis Van Schoor, once a policeman and later a security guard, killed a dozen of people, all Black and colored, between 1986 and 1990. Now, to many white residents of East London in South Africa, he was a hero. They even had stickers on their cars saying, "I love Louis," and they saw him as someone who was keeping crime down. But for the Black community, he was a monster who killed innocent people, and to many, he was a hero, a protector. To the city's Black community, he was Jesus, the bringer of death. His victims, often wrongfully accused and unarmed, had one thing in common, which were their race. Now, Van Schoor was finally convicted of several murders and sentenced to 12 years in prison, but his victims were far more numerous. Let's have a look. Now, fast forward to his daughter Sabrina. After her father went to prison, her life fell apart. She was molested by white men, and when she told her family, they didn't believe her. And the only people who showed her kindness were actually people from the non-white community, which were the colored and the Black community. And this led her to a parallel life that her mother, Beverly, deeply disapproved of. Now, Beverly was not just any mother. She was abusive and racist. She regularly insulted and hit Sabrina, mostly over her relationship with Black men. And this toxic environment worsened when Sabrina became pregnant by a colored man, and at the age of 18, her mother forced her into an abortion. A year later, she was pregnant again, and this time she refused to abort and gave birth to a girl. Now, Beverly was distraught over having a mixed-race grandchild, and it further strained their relationship. Now, Sabrina could not bear the abuse any longer. She turned to the Black community for support, but the abuse from her mother continued. Desperate and feeling trapped, Sabrina made a decision, a very tragic decision. She sought someone to carry out her mother's murder. Let's have a look. Now, unlike her father, Sabrina's crime was not born out of racial hatred. Rather, it was a desperate act to break free from her own oppressive reality. And Sabrina's mother, Beverly, was actually a prominent, influential businesswoman, but a tyrant at home. Beverly's hate for her daughter's relationships with Black and colored men ignited a cycle of abuse, marked by physical violence and emotional humiliation. She would often lock her in her room just so she could keep her from mixing with people of other races, and called her derogatory names. And Sabrina was also abused for association outside the bounds of her mother's racist ideals. Now, the irony here is that Sabrina was imprisoned almost the same years as her father for killing one white woman, and her dad went to prison for the same amount of years for killing a dozen amount of black people. How does that make any sense? And I guess Africa continues to navigate its complex history. I think that these narratives remind us that the personal is invariably political. In closing, Sabrina's story is an important reminder of the lingering shadows caused by apartheid. It emphasizes the need for continued reckoning with this dark chapter, not just through legal justice, but deep societal healing. While her actions are undeniably criminal, they also resonate as a cry for help, a desperate attempt to serve ties with a legacy of racial violence. Now, this duality forces us to grapple with the complexities of guilt and justice, pushing us to reflect on the true cost of a system built on hate. Now, with that being said, what are your thoughts in regards to this? We want to hear from you. Let's engage in the comment section. And while you're at it, please give this video a thumbs up. That's it from me. Till we meet again, it is goodbye.